It's a big day in courtrooms from coast to coast. We're also waiting for a court hearing today for Hunter Biden, the president's son, due in a Los Angeles federal courtroom on tax charges just one day after that really surprise appearance on Capitol Hill for his own contempt of Congress hearing. Tom Dempsey has new Republican reaction to what some are calling a political stunt. Tom, yesterday was absolute chaos. It turned into mayhem.
Yeah, absolutely. You can almost call it was like a circus-like atmosphere here on Capitol Hill, Marky. But look, later today, Hunter Biden will be back in the spotlight, making his first court appearance in Los Angeles, facing federal charges that he failed to pay his taxes. But like you said, this comes after a truly circus-like day here on Capitol Hill when Hunter Biden shocked many people, showing up for a committee meeting that dealt with a resolution to hold him in contempt of Congress. Appearing here on News Nation on Balance, the Republican chairman of that meeting further blasted the president's son. Take a listen.
Hunter Biden doesn't make the rules. And when Democrats were in control, they didn't let people say, oh, we'll only come if it's a hearing. They made them sit for depositions first.
He's just been punished by...
Now, the committee meeting brought shouting matches at times, and it revolved around a resolution to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena to appear behind closed doors for testimony in the impeachment inquiry. Republicans want to interview the president's son for allegations that then Vice President Joe Biden financially benefited from Hunter's business dealings. Now, no direct evidence supports those claims, and Hunter Biden has offered to testify publicly. But his appearance during the meeting led to a show here on Capitol Hill.
I think that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail. Yes, I'm looking at you, Hunter Biden, as I'm speaking to you. You are not above the law.
Republican chairs today are commandeering an unprecedented resolution to hold someone in contempt who has offered to publicly answer all their proper questions. The question there is, what are they afraid of?
Focus now shifts to today, though. Hunter Biden will be making his first court appearance in a federal courtroom in Los Angeles for an arraignment on charges he failed to pay over $1 million in taxes. This all comes after the president's son pleaded not guilty to federal charges that he lied about previous drug use when buying a gun. His own lawyer accuses the special counsel in the case of bowing to Republican pressure. That resolution to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress will now head to the full House floor. And if it passes there, it will then head to the Department of Justice, who will then decide what to do next, guys.
All right, Tom, thank you so much. Again, very exciting time, very perplexing. Joining us right now, attorney and legal analyst Mercedes Colwin. Thank you, Mercedes, for being here. The surprise appearance. I mean, I think people were wondering, has this ever happened before? How does somebody do this? And how did he get in the building to be in that hearing on the front row?
That is such a great question, Adrian. Always wonderful to be on with you on your show. It is certainly very perplexing to have that type of appearance. It was obviously very vocal, very aggressive stance by him and his counsel. We know that he's been under multiple subpoenas. He had not appeared, although he had made several offers through his counsel to appear in a public hearing, in a public deposition, that had been declined multiple times. Of course, their counsel was very vocal about the fact that others had been subject to congressional subpoenas and had defied those subpoenas, including Jim Jordan and Scott Perry. So they made sure that it was very clear that others had been subject to subpoenas, just like Hunter Biden, and they had defied it, yet they were not subject to contempt hearings. So it was definitely a show, a lot of surprises, a lot of vocalization about protesting this whole investigation. So we'll have to see if anything comes of it. As you know, Congress has to vote whether or not to proceed with contempt charges through the U.S. Attorney's Office. That vote has not taken place as of yet.
Right, that full House vote. But dramatics aside and aggressive strategy aside, with the way the legal process works and these House committees work, what's your gut telling you? Will he ultimately have to yield to the closed-door deposition?
I'm not even sure, Adrian, because frankly, the offers were they were compelling. The offers by his counsel said he'll answer all the questions. He's prepared to answer the questions. He'll do it in a public forum so there's no mischaracterization of his deposition. It's going to be, because they made those genuine offers, A judge looking at this most likely will say that he complied with the scope of the subpoena in the spirit of the subpoena. The entire subpoena is all about answering questions, and those offers have been made multiple times. How to proceed with answering questions? Well, if you look at the congressional rules, they can demand depositions to take place. It really will be splitting hairs whether a judge will say that he didn't comply with the subpoena, having offered to answer questions in a public forum.
It just seems that he's doing it in a very unconventional way, and some people would say in a way that most Americans couldn't get away with. But today he is in Los Angeles. He'll be in an arraignment for those tax charges, not filing taxes years ago. Do you foresee him serving any time for these crimes?
You know, Adrienne, that's a great question. And frankly, any defense attorney will tell you when their clients are in the crosshairs of an IRS investigation or the crosshairs of U.S. prosecutors who are saying that you failed to pay taxes. Jail time is presumably going to happen, depending on the scope of it. We know that Hunter Biden was offered a deal back in July of 2023 where he would have pled guilty to misdemeanor charges and just probation for 2 years rather than jail time. Now there is jail time. So if it does proceed, and it's very easy for prosecutors to establish to a jury that taxes weren't paid, you just follow the money. You either paid taxes, didn't pay taxes. There's really very little wiggle room. Under those circumstances, if a jury does actually convict him for those charges, jail time is likely.
And 17 years is the maximum sentence, though most people say he will not serve a maximum sentence. If you were advising Hunter today, what would your advice be, especially if he cares anything about his father, President Biden, as he's campaigning for president again?
I would say continue to negotiate with federal prosecutors. I mean, I have had those types of conversations with federal prosecutors on the behalf of clients. You negotiate with them. They are incredibly aggressive, brilliant group of folks. They will unearth any single criminal investigation, will unearth something that you've done along the way. They've got great resources. They are certainly very, as I said, very aggressive. Plea deal. Do a plea deal. They almost succeeded back in July of 2023. There were questions by the federal judge presiding over that plea deal as to whether the scope of immunity to Hunter Biden was too excessive, given the charges that had been originally lodged against him. That's may have been one of the reasons why then Merrick Garland actually selected David Weiss to continue as special counsel in the investigation. So all in all, I would certainly say to Mr. Biden, let's really do a plea deal. There may be a way for you to avoid obviously a jury trial and avoid jail time. Yeah. So that's something to consider.
It would be less messy, but things have already become quite complicated over the years that we've been hearing about this young man, this gentleman. I guess he's not so much a young man anymore. He's older than me. But Mercedes Colwin, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.